All right, today we're not just telling a ghost story. We're going to get under the hood of a viral tale to really break down what makes it so incredibly terrifying. So let's just dive right into this. It all kicks off with a feeling that honestly we all know too well. That bone-deep exhaustion after a long day where all you want, the only thing you want, is to just get home. And that's the hook, right? It's simple, it's universal, and it pulls you right in. The story is clever. It starts by making you feel comfortable, like everything is completely normal. But it plants this tiny, subtle seed of unease, one that's going to grow into pure terror later on. So, meet Nisha. She's 26, she's a content moderator, and she's just finished a ridiculously late shift. She is just drained. The only thing she can think about is her bed. By making her so relatable, the story makes her feel real and, well, vulnerable. And that's a perfect setup for suspense. So what does she do? She pulls out her phone, books a cab. A second later, the app confirms it. Her driver is a guy named Mahesh Patel. Totally normal, everyday stuff. Nothing to see here. Or so you'd think. Okay, so the very next night, it's the same situation. Another long shift, another late cab ride home. And guess who the app assigns her? Yep, Mahesh Patel again. Now, you might think, okay, a bit of a coincidence. But hey, in a massive city, it's not impossible, right? But then, night 3, it happens again. The app screen blinks with that exact same name, Mahesh Patil. Okay, now what started as a coincidence is starting to feel a lot less random and a lot more like a pattern. And that feeling of unease, it's really starting to creep in now. And this is where we get the first real red flag. She gets in the car, and the driver already knows her destination is Powai, without her even saying a word. Now, she kind of brushes it off, thinking the app must show it. It's the logical explanation. The journey starts, everything seems fine. All right, let's get into this next part, because this is where the story masterfully starts to just dismantle her sense of reality, piece by piece. That little bit of strangeness, it's about to turn into real, genuine fear. Now, the first big deviation from the norm isn't a ghost or anything supernatural. It's a classic horror move, the wrong turn. This works so well because it's all about isolation, stripping away the safety of familiar streets and plunging her into this unknown, kind of threatening environment. And then things get weirder. The radio, which had just been static, suddenly plays a crystal clear broadcast from All India Radio, but it's dated from over a decade ago. The driver quickly shuts it off, saying silence is better. It's such a jarring detail, and it hints that time itself is getting a little unstable inside this car. This next moment is a straight-up glitch in the Matrix. It's a visual loop. They pass this huge billboard for a restaurant. Then, after a few more turns, they pass the exact same billboard again, only this time a part of it is burnt out. It confirms it. The normal laws of reality are literally breaking down around her. Her friend Sana calls, which should be a lifeline, right? A connection to the real world. But nope, this call only makes the horror so much deeper. You can see it right here. Two realities are just colliding. In Nisha's world, she's in the cab. But according to Sana, that cab was canceled. Nisha never even left the office. How can both of those things be true at the same time? And then, click. The call cuts. The phone screen just goes black. Battery dead. Her last connection to her reality is just gone. She is totally isolated, completely alone with the driver and her own escalating terror. This brings us to the climax of the story. All those strange events, the glitches, the red flags, they're all about to converge as the horrifying truth finally comes out. Nisha's mind is just racing, and she finally starts connecting all the dots she dismissed before. The trip history from a year ago with the same driver, that old news article she'd saved about a cab driver's death, even that bizarre phantom police checkpoint that just dissolved as they passed through it. It all clicks into place, confirming this is no ordinary cab ride. She glances over at the dashboard clock. The time is frozen at 3:33 a.m. The little colon between the numbers is blinking, but time itself is not moving forward. She is trapped in a single repeating moment. And that's when the driver finally tells her the truth. See, he isn't some malicious spirit. He's Mahesh. He died in a crash a year ago tonight, on this very route when his passenger fled. Now his ghost is stuck in this tragic loop, and tonight she accidentally stepped right into it with him. And this is where the story's horror does this brilliant shift. It stops being about an external threat. It becomes this shared tragic problem. The question changes from, how can I escape him, to, can we break this cycle together? This one line is the absolute emotional core of the story. It totally reframes Mahesh from a monster into another victim. He's not trying to hurt her. He's just as desperate to get home as she is. He even tells her he can't control the car anymore. They are both just passengers on this ghost ride. So, in this incredible moment of courage and just empathy, Nisha confronts the haunting head-on. She asks Mahesh to stop at the small temple near his crash site. And there, she gets out and prays, not for her own escape, but for his release, for his mukti. With that act of compassion, the nightmare seems to be over. She's safe. But is she? The story saves its most chilling, unforgettable twist for the very last moment. The story just masterfully creates this false sense of security. Nisha wakes up on a bench back at her office. Her phone has plenty of battery, her friend shows up and confirms the cab was canceled. The only rational explanation is that it was all just a vivid, stress-induced nightmare, and you, along with Nisha, can finally breathe a sigh of relief. But then, just to be sure, she checks her phone's gallery, and there's a new photo there. A photo she didn't take. It's timestamped at exactly 3:33 a.m. It's a picture taken from the back seat of the car. In the detail that turns your blood to ice, the driver's seat is empty, but Mahesh's ghostly face is in the rearview mirror, staring right at the camera. The experience was real, and now she has the proof. And that is the true genius of this story. It doesn't just end with a jump scare. It leaves you with this lingering, terrifying question that attaches itself to something we all do. It makes you second-guess that simple tap on your phone and wonder who or what might be answering your call.